They're forecasting 13 to 15 inches of snow. The wind's blowing, blizzard-like conditions, and honestly, guys, like this is where it becomes so fun to get in the vans, turn the key, point it towards the mountains, and come experience this.
As years passed, there was an opportunity for one of my friends who enjoyed the outdoors to go backpacking. And this was back in 2010. And my friends Kevin and Johnny and Steve, they decided to take me up to Mount Baldy. So since I didn't have any gear, of course, I went to REI, rented a bunch of gear, and my very first backpacking experience, we hiked up to the summit of Mount Baldy, a little over 10,000 feet in elevation. We didn't have a tent because it was too windy. So I just laid down a sleeping pad, had a sleeping bag, slept overnight, hiked back down. That was my very first backpacking experience, and I got hooked ever since.
Kind of the cool thing about this is Mark and the folks over at Trayvax, we kind of realized that there's a lot of similarities between living the van life and Trayvax as a company. Some of the outlooks on life, some of, our simplistic thinking about how we approach life and the things that we do and the things that we love. And that's the cool thing about getting Mark up to Mount Baker here in his Kimbo camper that he's developing. Kick it up here in a winter storm, snow's coming down, the wind's blowing, we got the camper set up, and really it's just about enjoying the simple things in life. Even if it's up here in sub-freezing temperatures, camping. I mean, why not?
When I found out Desiree was pregnant, I was working in a fire department out at a nuclear facility. I wasn't super happy there. I didn't want to fall into the trap of kids are expensive and you need money and it makes it difficult to change your career path. And so I was a little bit nervous about that. And then on top of that, I was also nervous that I was gonna have to stop doing all of the things I enjoy doing, which are, for the most part, things that most people don't do on a regular basis. I have a number of different hobbies and I like to try to do them all.
The wife and I, we were together for 10 years, but I didn't marry her until about 2 years ago. And I remember asking her dad for his blessing. And he had a brand new shed and I made some BS excuse like, hey, I want to check out your awesome shed. And I pulled out the ring while no one was looking and I showed it to him. And I asked for his daughter's hand in marriage, which he said yes. Part of that conversation was I wanted to give her everything that I could and give her the life that she wants.
I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to travel or do these action sports type things, but it's actually really been really cool integrating the kids into that.
It's balanced us almost.
Yeah,
a
it
little
really
bit.
has.
It's somehow brought balance into our life.
I think for a bit there I thought that, that picture perfect YouTuber of someone who doesn't have kids in their life is always crazy, going off and doing wild stuff all the time. But that didn't work for me, obviously. And
because we were still here in the background.
Because they're still, my family, So when I actually opened up and started including them in what we were doing and sort of changing paths, so taking the kids camping with us despite it being
it's a lot
so
of work.
much work.
It's a lot more work, but it's almost more worth it because it's the hard work.
Yeah, it actually makes the trips way more memorable to have the kids with us, and it gives you something to do while you're out traveling. You get to experience wonderment all over again through the eyes of a kid, and you kind of imagine what are they seeing, and they're so excited about it, and their imagination gets going, and that just inspires you and gets your imagination going, and it's like seeing things in a whole new light as a parent.
Her family has had a hunting cabin pretty much since the 80s, and it's something that her dad, her uncles, and her recently deceased grandfather made with their bare hands. They go hunting and bring back the animals, and they process everything, and it's all like this big like family event. So having something like that in Lindsay's life was kind of lacking when she moved over here. So eventually we came across this. We saw it at the beginning of the month. By the end of the month, we closed on it, and now we have a cabin, and it really fit our personality well. I wanted a view of the mountains. She wanted a view of water, and incidentally, we have both. We've always liked the idea of going green and going completely off grid. This was the best opportunity to do that.
I was consuming so much YouTube at the time, I just decided, hey, my life is kind of interesting with how much I'm traveling and everything, so why don't I kind of start over with the whole YouTube thing, pick up a camera and challenge myself to make at least one video a week and see how long I can do that. I was actually out skiing with a bunch of my friends, and we were just super hyper and filming everything and just kind of like screaming at the camera like we normally do when we're doing all of the ski boarding and things like that. A lot of people will come to my channel and they will see stuff and things, and then they will watch me review items and products and materialistic things, and it was never intended to mean that. I would like people to know that it's way more than that. It's a super blanket term to encompass everything that I am interested in, everything that I do. It's more about experiencing stuff, traveling around, and meeting new people and doing things with them. So when we were getting ready to get into the helicopter, we met the pilot Joel for the first time. Super awesome dude. We didn't really know what to expect. He took the time out of his day to fly up to us and use his personal helicopter to take us on this trip. This wasn't anything that was like super planned out. It was just real people meeting real people, basically asking for a favor. What we experienced after that was insane. We got off the ground and we started heading out towards Mount Baker. The sun was setting off to our left, so we went into the shadows. Everything got a little cold and we didn't really know what to expect there. It was just all snow covered, you couldn't really see the rocks. And then we peeked around that far right side and it just opened up into one of the most beautiful things I've honestly seen in a long time.
Part of my channel is to try to motivate people to start including their kids and not feel like they're tied down by having a family, but instead finding ways to adapt and take their family with them.
Which is
on
exactly
trips.
what Max did. He started this whole thing, and instead of kind of just like growing and leaving us behind, he's just kind of started taking us with him.
It's hard to put into words what that whole thing means. On video, it just looks like super flashy and oh cool, you're up in a helicopter, but with everything that led up to that, all of the people that we've met that got us to that point, it was a lot of time to kind of self-reflect and realize that it made me realize that I'm super thankful for all the opportunities that I've been given with everything that I've been doing.
I'm guessing 15 to 18 inches of snow, and we've got to work on getting ourselves out of this situation. The ski area isn't in operation up in this area, so they have not plowed yet, which makes for the perfect adventure to see how we can get these vehicles out of here.
We just learn and experience over time, but each and every time, although it was different, we enjoyed the experience. And I think that's the ultimate message I want to send out through my channel, which is no matter which way, how you do it, there is no set perfect way. There is no precise formula for enjoying the outdoors.